no matter how good you are at trading or writing code, I believe that probably it was not possible to create strategy that is going to work in the long run, because markets are changing, especially in crypto. Everything is so quickly, so condensed. So what are the chances that you're going to build a strategy and it's going to work for years? Probably no chances. So I started to realize that it was a very complex problem. So in my mind, the solution to the problem was to involve more people. So the only solution is to put a community to work together somehow, so that between the minds of the whole community, then you can get something going. Okay? So that is a different approach from many others, because traditionally, anybody working in finance or on automating stuff, the last thing you want to do is to share your strategy, you know? Because somebody else is going to use it, it's not going to work anymore. So it was very counterintuitive to think that somebody would share something with somebody else. It really was. Probably nobody else was thinking in those lines. So then the next question is, how do you make people to collaborate in a way that we can all benefit by being together? Okay? That's where the ideas of that the project incentivize contribution come from, then the implementation into a token system, a governance system to people to organize how we are going to distribute risk. But essentially, Julian was saying, Superalgo is a platform for creating or automating trading. It's probably half the truth. It's maybe 50% of Superalgos is that. The other 50% is the solution to the problem of how do we get a lot of people, hopefully a big amount of people, that we can trade all together and benefit all together, but in a permissionless and, how do you say, and without counterparty risk. Okay? So that's the problem we are trying to solve in the long term. The platform for automating trading is like the first step, I would say. What we are trying to solve in the middle or long term is how do we coordinate maybe 100,000 people, maybe 500,000 people, that we can trade all together, but without you risking your capital because somebody else is going to take it. That's the problem. You understand, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you solve that problem? Also a very difficult problem. Okay. But there is already a lot of infrastructure that has not been used yet, written already, but not really tested, for coordinating people. And also the coordination not only has to be free of counterparty risk. Free of counterparty risk, I mean that you trade from your own account with nobody having access to your balance. Okay? So you're probably going to follow what the crowd is doing, but nobody can take your bitcoins from your Binance. Okay? So you don't have a counterparty. Of course, you have the exchange risk, okay? But not from the crowd. Okay? Not even the one who is telling what you're going to do can take your money. He can tell you what to do, and then you can decide. Okay, I will do 100% of what I'm being told. I will do 80%. I will ignore it. Okay? So part of the problem is how you do it without counterparty risk, and the second half of the problem is how do you do that without being censored. Let's say we fast forward 2 years in the future, and we test this infrastructure, and people start coming in, okay? And we are 10,000, 100,000. In crypto today, there are 200 million people, okay? So there's nothing that prevents that 1 million people get together and say, okay, let's trade together, okay? We pool our brains and our indicators, our whatever, and we get organized. We are going to start making a lot of noise, okay? If 1 million people go at the same time to buy something, and not in a matter of weeks, but in a matter of a few minutes, okay? You're going to start moving the markets, okay? So so the problem there will be, how can you continue doing that without being censored, okay? Without anybody being able to shut you down, okay, as a crowd. So you get more or less the idea.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? How do we enable, or how do we create a technology that allows us to go together as a mega big whale, okay, of small fishes, in a way that individually you don't have counterparty risk, nobody can steal your capital of the crowd, and collectively nobody can shut you down, okay?
Basically, sorry to interrupt. The first thing that crossed my mind and started for me to think was that once your brother said that you're not a startup project and you're an open source project, that was the main question that crossed my mind and started me thinking about it. Yeah, so that's a big question that I still haven't got the answer to, or which I'm still thinking about.
Which one? We are not a startup.
The thing that you said, how do you make all of the people come together and implement their strategy without anyone being able to steal it? And that's the main question that